Hello, everyone. Welcome to Charm Chats and Happily Ever After Sprints, another day of it, where we'll get a chance to talk to authors all month about writing fantasy romance, play some games, and spend some time writing. I'm Shannon. I write under the pen name of SC Huston, and you're here on my YouTube channel where I publish content about my writing and self-publishing journey, along with doing weekly writing sprints. I'm also part of the Self-Publishing Tips and Tricks podcast with Ben Pick from Running to Write and Morgan Lee, and I am the founder and conference chair of the AuthorTube Writing Conference, now heading into its third year. Besides what I do here on YouTube, I am a fantasy romance and YA fantasy author with a passion for writing about broken characters who face adversity to become better versions of themselves. And there may or may not be dragons, but there's always love to find. And today on, we have, we did have some technical difficulties, so I did not get a chance to ask how to say certain words, and I'm a bit tone deaf, so I don't always know how things are supposed to sound. But I'm guessing, is it Sirena? Uh-oh. I don't know. Maybe we're having some difficulties. Can you hear me?
It's a made-up name, so you don't need to worry. You can pronounce it however you want. This is not my real name, so I don't worry.
Okay. So today I'm joined by Sirena Knighton, and I will read her bio. So Sirena Knighton has always loved losing herself in fantasy worlds and swooning over epic romances. So she decided to combine the two. In her fantasy romance series, Song of the Four Kingdoms, combines the steamy, diverse romance of Bridgerton and the magic and wonder of the Lord of the Rings into a low-angst, high-heat comfort romance series. Happy endings are guaranteed. And the series has tropes such as comfort romance, steamy standalone fantasy romance, dual POV romance, webtoon manhwa, I think is how you say that, like romance, sweet spice, low... That's right. Okay, good. Sweet spice, low angst, no cliffhangers, happily ever after endings. So you're going to dive into this series of standalone high fantasy romance novels for steamy, sexy times, slow burn romance, and swoon-worthy couples, perfect for fans of manhwa and webtoons like Under the Oak and Light and Shadow. So welcome to my channel, Sirena, and please take a moment to talk about anything else that you want to add. And I think there's a bit of a delay between me talking and and it's coming to you and vice versa. So we'll just have to be aware of that.
Yeah, there is a bit of gap, I guess. Yes, hi everyone. Thank you so much, Shan, for having me on your show. Really glad to be here. Nice to meet another author of fantasy romance. So, like you said, mostly I like what I love about romance is the happily ever after ending. So that's what I want in my books. And I'm not a fan of too much drama, so I want everything which is low angst and people are happy by the end of everything. So that's the kind of stuff I write. Comfort read, like I said. Everybody's happy and everybody's in love by the end of everything. So everything works out in the end.
Yeah,
so that's the kind of stuff I like to write.
I think that's definitely, I can tell. I'm almost done reading Wedded to the Warlord. I really like it. So I started yesterday and I haven't been able to put it down, and I'm getting near the end. So yeah, it's definitely different than like what I write. I write like, like my characters they all have like emotional or, bad things that they're trying to get through, and they face, certain obstacles to try and become better. So there's very AC compared to yours, where yours is that comfort romance. I really do enjoy it.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, that's what I read. I like reading about emotionally damaged people or people who need to work through things. But when it comes to writing them, I'm like, no, I can't put you through this. My poor little characters. You're going to be happy. So they end up being happy.
So we'll go and say hello to people who popped into the chat already. Bookskers and Purrs. Leslie came in. Hello, popping for quick hello. I'll replay tomorrow. My partner for the AuthorTube Writing Conference is actually streaming at the same time. We didn't plan it that way. It just ended up that's how I get what our guests chose. So it's just the audience is kind of split. I think Leslie is over there.
Great minds think alike. So you guys are on the same wavelength.
Yeah. Rachel, hello, I'm here. Hope everyone's having a fabulous Friday. Thank you for stopping in, Rachel. And Adega, hello. Thank you for stopping in. This is later for my audience. I don't typically go this late, but I'm up this late, so it's why I offered it as a time period. But I'm sure a lot of my audience will catch this on the replay as well. If there's anyone in the chat who has a question for the author, you're welcome to drop those questions at any time. It would be so helpful if you can put a Q in front of the question. And then Wedded to the Warlord is pinned as a comment with the link if you want to go check out the book at the top of the chat. So if anybody would like that. All right, let's go ahead and go into questions. So what drew you to write? I mean, you kind of had this in your bio a little bit, but do you want to expand on what drew you to write in the fantasy romance genre?
Mostly like you said, it I was kind of tired of the real world. I mean, there's like so much stuff happening everywhere. I mean, not just where you live, where I live, there's like so much bad stuff happening in the world all around us. You kind of want to escape from it all, have a little bit of a vacation into a fantasy world where the only thing you need to worry about is, oh my god, does a cute guy like me, or will I be the princess of this beautiful nation or something like that. So that was one of the reasons why I wanted to go into fantasy romance. I do actually write in YA fantasy, just like you. I
Oh,
have
okay.
a yeah, I have a pen name which writes YA fantasy, but that's more on the Magic Academy side. So I wanted to go for something completely different with this. And I was reading a lot of webtoons. I don't know if you seen a lot of them or read a lot of them, but they're all this kind of stuff. It's like happy endings and everybody, everything works out in the end. So that was something which I wanted to emulate, and that's why I just thought, okay, fine, let's combine the two and then start something and then see what happens.
So I
So
can't.
and also
Yeah.
wanted to bring my sorry, I cut you off. I'm so sorry.
No, 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 no. It's because there's a lag. So I thought maybe you were
Yeah,
done. You go ahead. You go ahead.
yeah. I just want to say that I also wanted to bring my not my background as such, but a little bit of diversity into
Mhm.
the fantasy romance, which is why you can see Wedded to the Warlord has a fantasy version of a I won't say a fantasy version, but more like a nation or a world inspired by India. And I'm trying to bring in a little bit of the cultural flavor from all around the world into the fantasy romance that I write.
I
And I
love
hope I
that.
succeeded.
Yeah. I mean, I love that. I mean, of course, it definitely sets up some interesting conflicts too. Some of the when they mistaken, like when she gets the horses and he's doing it as a gift and she thinks it's a bride price. And and she's like, these are probably
Yeah.
our horses anyways. So,
Exactly. I mean, yeah, this kind of stuff is what I wanted to see more of in fantasy romance anyway. When everybody magically speaks the same language and everybody understands everyone perfectly from the get go, which I kind of was like, that's not how it works in real life, right? I mean, you have all these kind of misunderstandings and fun little things which happen between people when two cultures clash, right? So that's
mhm.
what I wanted to see more of.
The cultural misunderstandings. That's what I was trying to figure out that phrase, and I couldn't remember it. But um, yeah, I love that. It's worked in really well. I really appreciate having that diversity in there because it does give you, for those who are not in that culture, it gives us insight into something that's going on that could be in our world as well. Because I'm assuming some of it's taken from the real world. So even that's
Yep, some of
fantasy.
it. Yep, some of the things do come from the real world. Like a lot of the recipes which I talk about
Hmm.
did are real. I mean, a lot of people do drink kava. That was one of the things which I talked about. It's like green tea spiced up with cinnamon and honey and stuff. It's a
I wanted some of
wonderful
that.
winter drink.
I wanted to
Yeah.
try that.
It is awesome. You really should try it.
What about the custom of touching the mother-in-law's feet when you're saying goodbye?
Yes, yes, that's real. That's real.
Okay.
I mean, not just the mother-in-law's feet. It's kind of like everywhere
Or
you
mother. Yeah.
go in India, people do touch their elders' feet. It's kind of like asking for their blessings. So and the thing of the father-in-law washing his
His feet. Yeah.
the, yeah, his feet. All that does really happen. So yeah.
Yeah, it felt very real. And I thought, well, either it's just a really good, makeup or this is pulled from the culture.
Yeah,
So,
some of it is
but
both. So
I liked it. Yeah, I really liked it. I like having the
I'm
diversity
glad.
in
I'm
there.
glad.
So, I mean,
Thank
I
you.
think as a fantasy writer, we're trying to make up stuff all the time. So it's really nice if you can pull from, a culture that you're familiar with enough to represent it nicely. So,
Yep. Thank you.
uh, All right, so let's talk about Wedded to the Warlord. Can't talk. Wedded to the Warlord, the first book in the Song of the Four Kingdoms series. Yeah, can you tell us a little bit about the book?
Yeah, so it's basically like I said. I think you can see. Am I out of the way? Yes, the cover. Okay, you can see the cover here, right?
Oh
So
yes.
it's basically about a warlord. It's a difficult word to pronounce, so no worries. So a
Well, I'm partially
warlord
tone
from
deaf, so it
the
doesn't help.
so a warlord from the west is arranged to marry a princess from the east, and then they both have been rivals for years now. These people keep raiding the princess's lands, and then suddenly their kings decide that hey, I want to have peace, so you guys marry each other and then broker a deal between our countries. And these two are not very happy with it. But what can you do when it's a royal decree? You have to go along with it. So they
Mhm.
end up getting married to each other. And then it's kind of like how they try to come together and try to understand one another. So Tristan, he is the warlord. He's, I would say, a lot of my readers have said that he's like the cinnamon roll of the relationship.
He
He's like the
is.
one who is.
Yeah.
So, but Malika, the princess, she has secrets. So, and then she's being blackmailed by her terrible, nasty, horrible ex to, betray Tristan. So, and then the whole book is about whether the cinnamon roll hero is able to melt the princess's heart. Does she betray him? What happens? How do they take care of her ex?
Yeah.
Uh, I hope I did a good enough job of selling it. You'll have to tell me.
Yeah, I mean that's exactly what I've gotten from it, and yeah, and it doesn't say cinnamon roll anywhere when I read through the blurb and
Yeah.
everything, but I was like, yeah, he's a cinnamon roll.
I didn't realize I was writing a cinnamon roll until one of my readers was like, oh my god, this guy is so, he's
He's
like
so
a
sweet.
cinnamon roll. He just want to like, And I said, oh, okay, yes, now I got it. Okay, I did it right then. Great.
Which I have to say that his initial setup did not seem like that's how he would be. That's exactly who he was. The minute that he was with Malika, is that how you say it?
Yeah, yeah, Balika.
Malika. So the minute he was with her, that he turned into the cinnamon roll. But before that, he was like, "What do I know about women? I'm the butcher of I don't remember the name."
Yeah.
Yeah, and he was
No, this
like,
is a
"Yeah,
made up name, so yeah.
yeah." He was like the butcher. Like he had he's known for killing people. And then when he said send her horses, and his servant, the steward,
Mhm.
he was like, do you want to send her a gift from our culture or her culture? He didn't say it like that, but he got the gist of that's what he was asking. He was
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
from us, So that set up
Yeah.
that misunderstanding, but like he just didn't pay attention. It wasn't really a big thing to him until he met her.
Exactly. I mean, like you said, I mean, he thinks he's doing it from the goodness of his heart, where he feels like, see how generous I am that I'm sending you these many horses,
Yeah.
and she's like totally misunderstanding it, and she goes, you guys stole these horses from us, and you're giving it back to me as a gift. You're buying me with these horses. So
Yeah.
I mean, it's so easy to misunderstand each other. So I wanted to kind of have fun with that. So
Yeah. But see, all that kind of set him up is I thought that when he did marry her, that he was going to be kind of distant and standoffish, like, I don't want to be in this marriage. That's what I thought he was going to be like, but it's not at all. He just, the minute he meets her, it turns for him. So,
yeah, it was love at first sight for him, but for her, it was like, no, no, stay away from me. I
yeah,
have
well,
other things on my mind.
yeah. I mean, it's kind of hard for her to even open up her heart after one, she got her heart broken, and two, she knows that she's in this marriage to spy on him and eventually betray him. So,
Yes,
yeah.
yes, that was like I said, that's a secret that she's keeping, but he doesn't know that he's just being his, golden retriever cinnamon roll self, and he's like, I'm melting your heart. Come
Yeah.
want me.
I can't say I did have like for a moment I was like maybe he really knows there's something going on, but he's still trying to win her over anyways to see if she'll still go through with the plan, but that hasn't come to light. He doesn't know. But so okay, you do have a series. I think there's 3 books out. The 4th book is about to come out, and it seems like each book in the series focuses on different romance pairings, making each of the books standalones, which was in your blurb as well. Can you tell us about how you made this choice versus making a different model? Like having like a series with the same characters overall.
It was mostly, like I said, because I love happy endings, and the key word in that is endings. You need to have, give wrap up the story in a bow by the end of the book, which is the kind of stuff that I like. I mean, I
Mm,
do like long series as well, like you said, with the same characters if you follow them. And I
mm,
have written that, like I said, with my pen name, and I wanted to do something different with this one. I wanted to give the readers the option to, you can pick up book one and start reading it, or you can jump into the story from book two and start reading it. And then if you find it intriguing enough, like, hey, I missed the stuff about what did the prince do, and then why did he do this to these guys, or who are these people, then you can go back and pick up book one. But it's not going to stop you from enjoying book two by
mm.
itself or book
Yeah,
three by itself. So you can only
yeah.
focus on the romance if you just want to. Like, if you want the arranged marriage romance, it's book one. If you want like friends to lovers and second chance romance, like, friends who were together drifted apart and then they meet again, that's book two, which is Promise to the Prince. I'm, no, I'm out of the way. Okay, here it is. Promise to the Prince. And
Okay.
if you want, yeah, and if you want like enemies to lovers and forbidden romance and attraction and that kind of stuff, that's book three. So that's what I wanted to give people, like a buffet. You choose whatever you want. This is like a rainbow of romance. That's what I wanted to say. So yeah, that's the reason why I wanted to go for standalones, basically.
I'm trying to remember. Is book three, is that the one with the elf?
Yes, that is the one with the elf.
I can't wait for that one. I'll have to pick up the rest of the series after the month is over because I'm trying to read at least some, if not all, of every author who's coming on.
Yes, I
This
can
month I had
understand.
22
It's a big.
authors. So yeah. Um, and so I'm going to finish up the month and then go back to it. But yeah, because we don't have any representation of the elves, at least not in book one that I can see yet. We have the I mean, I can't remember the name or how to say it. It's the RU, the other country that's not the elf, but the other country that's not really in this yet. RU Esco, it's like Ruskova or something.
Oh yeah. You are almost correct. It's Drakasov, because it's
Okay.
supposed to be Russian inspired. So you
That's
almost got it.
I was thinking it was Russia inspired because we do have the prince who's half
Yes.
half of that nation and half of
Yeah.
Moravian. So I was like, okay, so we got representation of everything here except for we don't have anyone that's really an elf yet, and I want to know more about that. Um, so yeah, I was looking forward to that. All right. What was your inspiration for writing "Wedded to the Warlord"?
I was actually, to tell you the truth, I was watching a lot of Bridgerton before I started reading this book, and I really loved season two. I mean, so I really loved season two, Kate and Anthony, their connection, and the whole story. So, and then I thought, okay, why not? That was the inspiration. That was where it started. And then it started, like, I started working on it, the idea. And then I thought, okay, let me put my spin on the whole arranged marriage and culture clash thing. And that
Mhm.
was how Warlord was born. And from there, the story kind of expanded and then said, hey, there are other countries in the world. It's not just these two random, there's this one princess from one country and then a guy from another country. And then, hey, what about all of us? And then, what about our kind of neighbors? And then what are we dealing with, the people next to us or the other countries next to us? And then I said, okay, the world needs to be expanded a little bit. So that's how I said, okay, I'm going to stop at four kingdoms. Can't go any more beyond that. But that was how it started, and that was where the inspiration for the world came in, actually. So yeah.
Nice. We had a Richard come in. Hello. This is late for him because he's in the UK, which is like 6 hours ahead of me. So it must be like what 1 o'clock in the morning or something. It's really late. Um, so I did have another question I didn't send to you ahead of time, but I'm just curious, where does song come from? Song of the Four Kingdoms? What's that refer to?
um it was just I mean, I think you remember from the Lord of the Rings, where they have like a lot of these songs and poems and things, right, where it's like translated into a poem form. I mean, that's the concept as such. So that was what I kind of was going for, where I said, what if these books are not actually books, but they were translated by someone else, and then these are all a part of. um like a song or a poem that someone would be telling each other, like, sitting around a fire. The storyteller is telling you a story that, now let me tell you the story of this princess and this, guy, and then they both met, and then this is what happened with them, and then this is how it ties back to book number two, and then the new story starts. That's how it happens, right? When you stick around a fire and you're talking, and then go, oh, okay, let me tell you, wait, this story ties into this person, and this is what happened with them. So it's kind of like a song, and each verse is a different story. So that
Gotcha.
was the kind of thought that I had.
Okay. I love it. All right. Who is your favorite fantasy romance author? And if it
Oh my
changes, it's
god.
okay. Just pick one that you like.
You have asked me a very, very difficult question. This is like one of those things where you ask someone, what's your favorite book, and then you're like, what do I say? I like this one, I like that one, and then you're like,
Yeah.
oh my god, author, this is even worse. Um, Okay, my favorite fantasy romance author. Oh my gosh. You actually okay, right. I'll just say what's right now on my mind. So I've been rereading the Cruel Prince. Okay, no, so the Folk of the Air, I mean. So Holly
Mhm.
Black right now is someone I'm really enjoying. I'm really enjoying that reread. So I'll have to say her.
Okay. Yeah. I kind of default to who I'm reading to at the moment, unless someone really sticks out to me, which I do have someone who sticks out to me from last year. But before that was like whatever was like, what I was reading at the moment.
Yeah.
I do the same strategy. If someone asks me what's my favorite book that I've written, I just default to the one I just finished.
It is so difficult. It's like asking, and then every time you would probably have like a 100 favorites, but at the minute someone asks me the question, my mind just goes totally blank, and I'm like, have I ever read any book? Do I remember how to read? This is what happens to me.
Yeah.
Who are
I understand.
authors? Who are these people? I don't remember a single word. Oh gosh, it's terrible.
And Richard does say it's 1:30 a.m. where he's at.
Oh my gosh.
It's
Thank you
late.
so much for joining us, Richard. Oh my god, I feel so much sympathy for you.
Yeah. I don't know. I could not stay up that late, but yeah.
Oh my gosh.
So, what is your favorite fantasy or romance trope and why?
Fantasy trope. Like I said, the cultural clash, I think it's right now. Like again, the tropes are also something which you asked me. Then today it could be something, tomorrow it could be something else. Like
Yeah.
earlier, I was on a enemies to lovers kick. I was like, oh my god, give me more of this. Hearts are melting because of they start to understand each other, and all these goodness. But right now, I'm like, okay, I want more of the cultural clash. I think it can tie one into the other, where they're like enemies because they don't know each other, they don't understand each other, and they keep doing stuff which they misunderstand, and then they're like, how could you do this to me? But they're actually doing it out of an idea that this is something amazing that I'm doing for you, and the other one misunderstands it. That
Right.
I really like that. That's what I enjoy reading a lot. And I do see a lot of it in the arranged marriage books, where it's like, I'm doing this because it's such a great thing in my culture, but in your culture, you're like, ew, what are you doing?
Yeah. I get that.
So
All
I
right.
really like that.
I think I really like the enemies to lovers. I think I'm kind of stuck on that one for a little bit, but there are so many other ones I really like. So
Enemies to lovers is amazing. Yes, like you said, it's what we all like to see in real life, right? I mean, you want to see that people understand each other, and then maybe not fall for each other, but at least grow closer.
mhm.
So
Was it second season of Bridgerton? That was enemies to lovers, wasn't it? I think it
exactly,
was.
yeah.
Yeah, yeah. And I preferred the second season over the first season, although I liked the first season too. So
I will admit that I do like the second season as well. I mean, the first one was okay, but I like the
yeah,
second one much better. Yeah,
me too. Yeah,
so much drama. I was like, oh my god, just kiss already.
yeah, yeah. All that tension.
Yeah.
All right. So now we're going to move into fun and games. And this is author's choice, and the author chose Would You Rather. So I created some Would You Rather questions, and some of these got kind of long because I was trying to include some of the tropes and themes and setting of your book as well into some of these Would You Rathers, and they started getting really long. So you'll have to bear with me. Okay. All right. And for anybody who is here in the chat, you can tell us what your choice might be as well. Let me pull up the questions. All right, first one. Would you rather be in an arranged marriage with royalty from a clashing kingdom, promising peace but lacking love, or risk everything for a forbidden romance with a commoner who is your true soulmate?
Oh my God, I know what I'm supposed to say. I know I'm supposed to say that, I'm going to choose the good of the kingdom, but
Yeah.
I'd probably go for the common and I'd run away and then say, hey, bye bye. See you later. This is what my heart wants. And then you'll leave like a rope, like a little note. And then, my sister would end up having to take my place in my wedding day or something like that. That's the only thing I could. And then immediately I'm going off into plot bunny land.
Yeah. Yeah. I would be thinking about the kingdom, but it's like, man, I don't know. I want my true soulmate too. So that'd be hard.
Yeah, I mean, especially if it's like a question of like, oh, I haven't found my soulmate yet. Maybe then you'd be like, okay, fine, maybe I'll give this a chance. But you have your soulmate right there, and then you're like, no, this or that. And you're like, no, that definitely.
Yeah. And especially if you're royalty, you're used to a certain standard of living. It's hard to become a commoner, I think, if you don't know a different way of living.
That is also true. I mean, imagine you're running away with your common soulmate, and
Yeah.
then at the end of the day, you're like, oh my God, when are the servants going to come in? I want my dinner. I want someone to wash my feet. And they're like,
Yeah.
no, hello. What are you talking about?
Yeah. All right. Would you rather be in a relationship where you hold significantly more magical power than your partner, ensuring their protection but risking the dynamics of equality, or be the less powerful one, fully trusting your partner's strength to shield you?
Oh my God, this is such a difficult question. Oh, I know I should say that I don't mind being protected. I trust my partner, but no, I want to be the powerful one. Give me the magic. I want to do like cool stuff with magic, and I'll take care of you. Don't worry. So, yeah, I want to be the powerful one. I don't want to be sitting back home waiting to be taken care of.
Yeah. I think I'm too much of a control freak. I'd want to be the powerful one.
Exactly, exactly. You're like, no, no, this is not the way. Do it this way. Why are you using your power this way? Send fire here, or send lightning there, or something like that.
And
I would
then,
be the
then, then they say,
backseat magic user. Yeah,
right, right. That's what I was just thinking of, the backseat driver.
shouting, with my little telescope, watching from the castle walls. Then I'll be like, no, why are you doing
Go left.
this?
Hi, Ashley
So
and Mel.
yeah, hi Ashley.
And Rachel says, I'm a slack-a-lackin'. LOL. All right, let's do the next one. Would you rather choose a partner who's a celebrated hero, admired by all but rarely home, or someone who's unknown but always by your side?
Oh my gosh, this is difficult. Uh, I think
I
I
mean, we
think
could
like I'm
choose
like
this
one of
like
those.
if we were in a fantasy romance, this is what we choose, but real life, we might choose this one.
Yeah, no, I was gonna say, whether it's real life or in the fantasy romance, I'm like, give me a little space. Why don't you like go out of go out of the house and go save the neighboring kingdom for a bit,
Yeah.
and give
Yeah.
me some me time. That's the kind of person I am. If you're
That's how I
constantly
am.
underfoot, I'd probably be like, get out, go do some stuff. Just be not here for a while. So
Yeah.
I'd probably choose the first one. Yeah, like let the hero go and then do his hero stuff out of the house while I'm indoors. So yeah.
I'm the same way that I don't know. I need my space sometimes. And so, um,
Heroes for the both of us. Yes, that's
yep.
what we want.
But Rachel chose the other one, always by
Great
my
now,
side.
always by my side.
Fame can suck it. All right, next one. Would you rather have a romance with someone who's your complete opposite, a scholar to your warrior, sparking fiery debates and passionate reconciliations in a medieval world, or find love with someone who mirrors your skills and interests, ensuring harmony but possibly missing the growth that comes from differences?
Wow, that is a good question. Uh,
I mean, this
um,
comes down to like this psychology idea of birds of a feather flock together or opposites attract. Which one is it? you know?
uh, I don't know. I kind of like fall somewhere in the middle. I mean, even in real life, I kind of say you can't be too opposite. Otherwise, you'd be like you'll be talking about something like you'll be talking about, oh, I love books. The other guy goes, no, I like cutting them in half with my fancy sword, and something like that. you know. Or you can't be too similar where you're like, I love books, and the guy goes, yes, I love books too, and then let's and someone else has to be feeding you because neither of you is bothered to like get up and then make your own food, something like that. I don't want too similar or too opposite. Somewhere in the middle, like
Yeah.
just different enough to be interesting and just similar enough so that you don't like fight every day.
But if you had to choose one,
Oh my gosh.
Rachel says totally opposite skill set, man. Like I can plan, but if he doesn't
Yeah,
have
yeah, I'll
like,
have to go with yeah, yeah. I'll have to go with what Rachel says. That's true. We need to
yeah.
go for the opposite thing here.
All right. Would you rather fall in love with a mysterious vampire with centuries of wisdom and secrets, promising eternal life, or a charismatic monster hunter dedicated to protecting you, offering you a life filled with adventure and danger in shadowy urban alleys?
Monster Hunter. I mean, I didn't even have to think about it. I was like, Monster Hunter. Vampires would, I mean, you'd get bored, wouldn't you? After like the first 100 years, you're like, oh my God, it's just all the same. It's like people dying and kings killing each other, and then, fashions changing. And imagine if you're like one of those people where fashions look good on you from like 100 years back, and you're like, no, this isn't flattering for my figure. Like how sometimes, I would be like, oh my God, bring back bootcut jeans or something like that, where something could flatter my figure, and then you're like, no, no, this is not in fashion right now. Imagine if you're a vampire that has to like wait for that, and you're like, no, I love me my frilly shirts. They're like, no, ew, no frilly shirts. That's like so last decade or last century. No, no. I want the Monster Hunter. I want adventure. I want
Monster.
new things.
I
I don't
do
want to
like
be
new
like
things.
stuck.
Yeah. Rachel
Oh, that is
says,
a
hang
good
on,
question.
important context. Is a vampire emotionally and financially stable? And also, is a
That is a
monster
good
hunter
question.
emotionally? So I would choose vampire if it could be like a polyamorous relationship because like I
Oh
said, I'd
yeah,
get bored. I'd be like,
yeah,
I need, I need you to go away for a while so I can get you know.
yeah. Exactly. It's like you imagine the same person, the same personality, unchanging for like centuries. You'd go crazy. You'd know each other so well
Mhm,
by the end of it that you'll be like,
mhm.
I know exactly which button to press to drive you crazy
Right?
because
Yes.
you got on my nerves in the morning, and I'm like, I'm gonna like destroy you emotionally. And then you're like, oh no, I won't want that. No way. So
I,
yeah, Monster Hunter it is.
I go with vampire, but I think
Yeah,
Rachel.
you need more spice in the relationship. Yeah.
Yeah, I would need more space, but yeah. Hi, Jocelyn. Thank you for stopping by.
Hi, Jocelyn.
All right, here's next. And that question, that would you rather, that was actually left over from the author yesterday. I guess I forgot to ask that one. I didn't realize it was in here because she wrote about vampires or
Yeah.
no monster hunters. Yeah. Okay.
That is a great question, but
Yeah. All right. Would you rather navigate a romance filled with cultural misunderstandings that challenge and enrich your relationship, teaching you both invaluable lessons about acceptance and adaptation, or be with someone from your culture where everything is familiar and comfortable, but perhaps less exciting?
hmm, that
I
is
feel
a
like this.
good question.
Yeah.
I think it ties back to our vampire and monster hunter question just now, where
Yeah.
you need growth. I mean, you need something different. Yeah, sunlight a little too much. Yeah, I was gonna say. I think we do need like different things in life, right? I mean, we need to keep growing. We need to keep. I sound like a little too real worldish for a moment, but yeah, I mean, I think even in the real world, you do need to keep challenging yourself. You need to grow.
Yeah.
You need to evolve, learn new things. And if it's like all samey, how is that going to happen? You're not going to grow unless you challenge yourself. And I mean, it's not to say that living with someone who understands everything about you can't be um, good for your growth. I won't
Yeah.
say that. But
Yeah.
coming back to, let's try and make it a little more lighthearted. Coming back to a fantasy romance thing, I would say the first one because there's like you said, passionate reconciliations
Hmm.
is what got me.
Yeah.
Where I'm like, yes, that's what I want. So argue with me all you want as long as we have passionate reconciliations, I'm fine.
Yeah. I agree. Yeah, and I did throw this up there. In my culture, last thing I need are angry in-laws. Oh no, I didn't put that one. Yeah, I get that one.
Oh my
So the
god.
one, this one here is just actually I like sunlight a little too much to choose vampire. I'm actually kind of the opposite because I burn really easy, so I don't like going outside.
Oh no.
So I'd
Oh,
be okay as a vampire. Um,
candlelight for you, yeah.
yeah. Uh, I didn't know any better. Doesn't fly with Latina matriarch.
Oh my
Also,
gosh.
he needs to accept my cooking, Rachel. All right. Would you rather be in a relationship where both of you must hide your magic from the world, living a life of secrets, or where only one of you has magic, risking exposure and persecution?
Oh my gosh. That
And
is a
this is kind
great
of taking,
question.
we didn't really talk about this too much about your book, but there is magic in the book in which
Mm-hmm.
some of it in this, I don't know if I'm saying it right, Sanavara
Mm.
side, it's more, people will hide it more because if you don't hide it, then you're going to be used by your kingdom because there's not, and your empire because there's not much magic there. But in Tristan's kingdom, there's magic like everywhere. So
Yeah. So, oh, wow, that is a good question. I think it's easier if like there are two magic users in the relationship, help each other hide it better rather than just one person who has to like take on the burden of doing it uh, all the time.
and
So
being
yeah, I'd say
persecuted.
two people, strength in numbers.
I agree. I would go with that one too. Rachel says, "What? I'm practical with their cooking. I would 100% treat having magic the same I would about winning the lottery. Tell no one, so I'm fine with that." Ooh, Rachel, are you hiding something? You have magic.
Or did you win the lottery?
Or with the lottery. Yes, I was thinking the same thing. Oh. Okay. Would you rather be part of a powerful magical lineage in a kingdom at war, betrothed to a non-magical royal from the enemy side as a peace offering, or be a non-magical royal engaged to a powerful mage, relying on love and wit to bridge the gap of power and bring peace? That sounds complicated.
Oh my gosh. But no, but that is a good question. It's more like I mean, how much can you trust another person? That's basically how what it all comes down to, right? I mean, if based on the power dynamics. I mean,
Yeah.
I know what I would say in real life. In real life, I'd say, give me the power. I don't want to be
Yeah,
the one
me too.
just relying on my wits and beauty. I'd be like, oh my God, what beauty, what wits? No, give me the power.
Yep.
But I mean, in fantasy world, maybe I don't mind being the one who has to dazzle the person with my wit. But in real life, I'd be like, no, I have no wit. Please give me the power. So I think I'll just choose the first one. And like, I'm the powerful one. Obey me or cater to my whims and make me
Yeah.
happy.
Same. I choose the same. Not to brag, I spend under $50 on 8 books. Cool. Impulsive.
Wow.
Yeah, that was a good buy. All right. In a medieval setting, would you rather find love with someone from a vastly different culture, embarking? I feel like this is like the same as another one I made. Embarking on a journey filled with learning, adaptation, occasional mishaps, or stick to a partner from your own background with shared traditions and beliefs, but perhaps lacking thrill of discovery. I think it's the same. You want to skip that one?
We'll skip that one. I think because
Okay.
we both know we would go
Yeah,
for
we know.
pleasure, yeah.
All right. Would you rather be in an arranged marriage where you and your partner secretly wield opposing magical powers, making your union a potential powder keg, or the key to balancing the. Oh, wait. Okay, no, that's part of the same one. So let me reread this so it makes sense. Would you rather be in an arranged marriage with you and your partner secretly wield opposing magical powers, making your union a potential powder keg, or the key to balancing the realm's magic? Or choose a love match that aligns magically but faces opposition from both your kingdoms?
Oh, I don't know. I was gonna say, uh, I feel like the magic isn't that important as the personality or the personal quirks would be. Like, who cares if the magic is aligned if you're like, he cuts his toenails in bed at like 3 a.m. or something like that, terrible, something terrible. I couldn't think of anything else right now. But, or he leaves his, the toilet seat up all the time. And then you're like, yes, I'm magic, aligns, but I'm going to kill you. And that's not like, that would be a terrible relationship. So, yeah, I think the first one. It doesn't matter if the magic doesn't align or they may clash or whatever. As long as we make each other happy, I think that should be fine. Look at the
Yeah, and I like
romantic
the
to me.
idea of the opposing magical powers because I mean you can
Mhm.
really do some cool stuff with that.
Exactly.
Um, the covers are so pretty. Also, multi-purchase discount. Okay, Alice versus everyone else. We can vanish into the
Yes.
woods and mist, never be seen again. Live that cottagecore life. All right. I got to the end of the questions that I made for based off of your themes of your books and stuff, but I got some
Mhm.
couple extra ones here. We could actually do like one more, and then we can do our writing sprint.
Okay,
Let me pick another one
cool.
here. I'm trying to figure out which one I want to do. Okay. Would you rather spend a short but unforgettable lifetime with a mortal who understands the value of every moment, or an eternity with an immortal where time loses meaning but love endures?
Oh my god, the second one. I don't know. Maybe it sounds terrible because I just said I hate vampires, but I
But there's no vampires.
love
This could
enduring.
be a different
This
immortal.
is just, oh yeah, that's true. So
It could
yeah,
be a
love
fae,
enduring.
an
Come on,
angel,
love enduring all the way.
or a demon.
No, yeah, no short romances. Yes, you are getting plot bunnies by the dozen. I can just see your it's like expanding there.
Yeah.
But I was gonna say yes, exactly. All yes to everything which you just said, as long as
Yeah.
it's love enduring.
Yes.
Imagine if things go wrong midway and you're like stuck with someone for centuries. Oh my god. Like imagine the clipping the toenails in bed guy and you're stuck with him for centuries. That would be terrible. But that's why love enduring. As long as the love is enduring, you're like, okay, I can forgive everything else. So yeah.
Um, then a team with some grand destiny will turn up and we'll give them some herbs and a sword. I don't know.
But is
Hang
the
on, does the
sword
government
magical? That is
true? Hang on, does the government know I'm immortal? Because I don't want to worry about centuries of taxes.
oh my god, that is such
I'm
a
sure
good
we can figure
question.
out how to get there. If not, then sure, I'll have all the time in the world to go to all the places. All right, Rachel did have a question for you. If anybody else has a question for
Okay.
the author, you can drop them in the chat. And we are going to be starting our sprint soon, but we can come back when we come back from our sprint. We can still answer questions, but we'll catch this one first. What was the hardest part of your favorite book to write? Yeah, pick your favorite book
For
first.
me.
Which we talked about.
Oh my gosh, but the hardest part of my favorite book. I think it's always going to be the same thing which happens. I mean, whichever pen name or whichever genre I'm writing, the hardest part for me is always fighting and battles, especially if it's like going to be like an epic battle which comes at like the end of the book or the end of the trilogy, and it's supposed to be like in my mind I can kind of hear the soundtrack of like the Lord of the Rings soundtrack do 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 do. But when I'm writing on the page, it's all like he turned left and then he swerved and then the sword came here. And I'm like, oh my god, this is so boring. How do people write battle scenes? I'm really in awe of people who can write a battle scene and it's easy to understand and it's exciting and it skips over all the boring stuff of like all the soldiers marched into place and it took them 20 minutes to get into formation or something like that. If you can write a good battle scene, I'm like, wow, oh my god, I'm in love because I
Yeah,
just can't do that.
I listened to the audiobook for Fourth Wing while I was reading the ebook to kind of immerse myself into it. And and I was listening to audiobook from YouTube, so you could see where people had you could see where people watch places over and over again and go back to it.
Yeah,
So you
yeah,
could see
yeah.
spikes. And I could see at the very end of the book, there was like this huge spike. And I was wondering, I was like, people keep telling me there's a sex scene at the end. I bet that's the sex scene. But when I got there, it was not the sex scene. It was the battle. So people listen to that battle over and over again.
So either it was like amazing, or people were actually like someone like me who's like, when I'm listening to someone explaining stuff like this, like I'm imagining it in my head and I get totally confused. I'm like, wait, you said this guy was this side, and then they were here, and then they came here, but then how long is the sword that it came in between them? That's how my mind goes. And I'm like, oh god, no, this is like so boring. When I'm writing it, that's the hardest part for me. I just can't do battle scenes.
Well, you do have at least so far, if I've read in What It's the Warlord, you have that one battle scene, but it was done under the
Yeah.
cover of night. This when they got attacked, when the raiders, and I thought that was really well done. So,
Now you know why it happens at night where nobody can see anything. You don't have to describe much. Now you know I'm revealing my secret where
but
everything happens too fast. And you're like, oh, what happened? What happened? And I'm like, yes, that's exactly. You can't see what happened.
but seeing it in the morning time when she was looking at the camp and seeing like almost all the tents were destroyed except for hers and her family's tents, and tying that description to her realizing, wow, even though we're used to be the enemy, they protected us.
Yeah,
You know.
like I said, that's what I want. Cinnamon Roll Tristan comes to the rescue. That's what I wanted to say. So yeah.
Rachel says, if you want good battle fight scenes, the Witcher books do a good job. If nothing else, reading those scenes helped a lot because I'm the same way. I do have the Witcher books, but I haven't got through them yet.
Oh, I'll have to like pick them up now. Making order out of chaos.
I describe it as making order out of chaos for how Andre writes those scenes. And that's the author of the Witcher books.
Yeah, that's amazing. I'll have to pick them up and then look through, because yeah, I'm like, it will be all chaos. Chaos up here and chaos down on the page as well. So
All right. Well, we're going to go ahead and move into the 30-minute writing sprint. There is the prompt is left up to the author, which she chose to have no writing prompt, so we can work on whatever we want to work on. What do you think you might do?
oh, I'm gonna be finishing up, putting the finishing touches actually on my new book. I'm working on a novella. It's part of a series called Bound by Flame. So nine authors. I mean, I'm one of them. I mean to say, all of us are coming together to write in a novella series about dragon shifters. So that's going to be tying back kind of into the Four Kingdoms series, but so it's a dragon shifter, totally something new for me. So check out Bound by Flame when you guys have a chance, because a lot of the books are up for pre-order, and that's what I'm working on right now. It's like the finishing touches, and like you said, battle scenes and not battle exactly, but like a fight scene is what I'm working on right now, trying to bring order out of chaos, like Rachel said. So that's what I'm doing right now.
Oh, I
What
see
about
here.
you? What are you working on?
Oh, I'm actually trying to do my own audiobook for my recent novel that was
Oh,
released, and so I need to go through and I just got my last 3 chapters. I need to go through them and fix them for the audio portion because it's slightly different when you do audio versus just reading. So I'm going to do that, and if I get a chance, I'll start audio recording one of the chapters. So.
wow.
But I don't know why I thought there's only 4 books coming out in your series, but you have 6 up here on Amazon
Yes, three. So it's kind of like I
and a
kind of
prequel.
did the first three. Yeah, I did the first three last year. Yeah, last year, and the next three are gonna come out this year. And in the middle, I said I don't have enough that I've taken on. Let me add a novella to this. So that's what I'm working on right now. So the novella comes out May 31st. I'm missing this right. Yes, there is May 31st. I am right. Sorry. I don't know why I said that's a question, English. So the
What's
novella
coming
comes
out?
out May 31st.
Oh, okay. Well, there's a prequel you have out that looks like it's out
Yeah, that's
already.
yeah. The wait. Let me see. Let me get out of the way. Yes, Enchanted by the Elven Prince is the free
Gotcha.
prequel. So you can get that. Like if you sign up for my newsletter, you do get that. The prequel,
Okay.
kind of like a
Cool.
little taste of the Four Kingdoms.
Well, and you got the elves in there, so I'm like, okay, cool.
Yes.
So okay. All right. Well,
Okay.
let's go ahead and get started. So good luck to us. And what are you guys working on in the chat? I don't know, Rachel, are you writing on anything? It's hard for me to write this late at night. I'm a morning person.
Oh my God,
So
totally opposite to you. I'm a night person. Yeah.
yeah, there you go. You'll get your creativity. So I'll go work on my audiobook. All right, we'll get started in three, two, one, and go. That is nice. What did you do? I don't know if. Okay, you were muted. I just unmuted you. I don't know if that was me or you. Serena, can you hear me? I don't know if she's hearing me. I'm going to take this banner off. Serena? I don't think she's hearing me. Um, okay, well, I did. I prepped 3 chapters for my audiobook recording, and I started recording one of the chapters. Got about almost 900 words in recording.
Hey.
Oh, are you there?
Oh, yeah, now I hear you. Sorry, I was on mute. I didn't realize
Okay, awesome.
it.
So, how did you do?
Pretty good, I think. I got halfway through my fight scene, so that's a win
Oh,
for me.
yes, especially since you said you don't you don't really like
Yeah.
writing those, right? Yeah. Yeah. So I don't know if you didn't hear me or if you did, but I prepped 3 chapters for my audiobook recording, and I got about almost 900 words recorded. It's slow going.
Wow. No, but I
Yeah.
mean, come on, you did 900 words. I couldn't even imagine hearing my own voice. Ew. Or,
For
or
the
okay,
words.
I just
Yeah.
think the heart of it, I'm like, oh, you. So, yeah, I mean, no.
I did a novella last year that was only 27,000 words, and it took me 3 months to do it. This novel is 141,000 words, so it's gonna take me the whole year.
Oh my gosh.
Good. I uh
Wow.
I did feel that way. I don't like listening to my own voice back. So
Hmm.
let's
I'm
say
sure
hello.
your listeners don't feel that way.
Yeah, well, we'll see. I haven't had too many people buy the audiobook. Only a few people have bought the novella so far, so I don't know what they think. I don't have any reviews yet. Um,
Fingers
but we'll
crossed it
see.
all goes well.
Yes, thank you. Um, Rachel did say for the sprint, I'm going to try and get some of the scripts for future videos completed so I can record later in the night. Andy stopped in and said, "Hey, peeps, Panda hugged the cute like button. Thank you." And then Margaret boop the like button. Hello, Margaret. She is the one that was also doing a live at the same time on her channel. I was able to stop out in the
Okay.
beginning, but when I was trying to do the audio recording, everything was lagging, and so I had to shut down a bunch of stuff. So
Mhm.
I didn't get to go back, but I will catch your replay for sure because I wanted to learn more about the guests that you had on. Our fireside chat is done. Oh, you're done. I got 2 fun snatches of stories from it. Oh, that's awesome. How is Sirena able to be a live emoticon? I know. I don't know how to do.
It's a snap camera feature.
Oh,
Uh,
gotcha.
the wonders of technology nowadays.
Right. Yeah. I want to do that, but I don't have Snapchat or whatever that is. I don't have it. RC stopped in. Hello. Thanks for stopping in. Evening. Andy says, leaving this up. Gotta go do bits and pieces. Well, that's okay. Thank you, Andy. We're almost done here. So we're going to be wrapping up in just a second. Lag time, baby. Ain't it fun? Yeah. Snapchat camera filter built in. Very cool. Yeah, that is.
Yes, exactly.
Um, there were a couple more questions that came in, so we'll ask them. If you guys have any questions for the author, that now's the time. We're going to be wrapping up here soon, but she can answer some questions before we do the wrap up. The first one is, what are your top tips for writing dragons, dragon shifter characters?
Oh my gosh, this is such a good question. Which I this is my first time writing a dragon, so I'm not sure I'm the one to be giving tips. But what I always enjoyed about shifter stories was always the dichotomy between beast and man, which is what I'm actually going for here. Because there are always parts where you want the dragon to come out, where you're like, yeah, just come out and rip all these guys to pieces, or when he's really passionate about things, where you want the dragon to come out. So I'm trying to write the fine line between the two, because there has to be times where he's okay, I keep saying he because my dragon shifter is a he, but I think it should be the same for everyone, because that's mostly what we want to go for, right? There are times where it has to be the beast in precedence, and sometimes it's like the thinking mind of the man has to be um, in the forefront. So that's what I'm trying to go for. Other than that, I don't really think I have any tips. I think Shannon has a lot of dragons in your stories, don't you?
Well, yeah, I've got my novel that just came out. I mean, it was a Kickstarter novel last year, so it published actually last year, but it just came out on retailer platforms, and that has dragons. It's based off of the series is Four Brothers for Dragon Shifters, and the novella had a dragon in it. And then I just wrote an alternate point of view, supposed to be short story for my Kickstarter backers. It ended up another novel, and that has the dragon still in it. Um, so, um, but I think
Yes, so
this is
you're the
interesting.
expert.
I don't know. I mean, because I think my dragon shifters are because I don't write urban fantasy. A lot of dragon shifter stories I read are urban fantasy. Mine's set in an epic fantasy setting, so it's a bit different. But I think when you mentioned, he, because you're a dragon shifter, he, and I was like, yeah, I mean, I made in my novella, I have a female dragon shifter, and I have a whole other storyline that I have going for her that I haven't written down anywhere yet, but I have a story for her that's going to come out. And I was like, that doesn't seem as exciting when it's a male dragon shifter than when it's a female dragon shifter.
Yeah, you have to go with story that calls to you, right? So yeah,
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, I have read female dragon shifters as well. It just like I said, I was writing about my pale ones, so like kept saying he. But yeah, female dragon shifters are awesome. I mean, like you said, there are some stories which you can tell only with female shifters. So yeah, that's cool. I
Yeah.
can't wait to read your novella. Sorry, or is it a novel? I'm sorry.
Well, mine is, well, I know you said you like to read the angst because yours is very sweet, no low angst, like you said. Mine's very
Yes.
angsty.
I don't mind reading, actually, I just
No,
can't
my
write it.
people write to write it. Rachel says, "What advice would you give for a memorable, compelling kiss or steamy scene?" Oh my gosh! Okay, wait. Can I talk about the first kiss scene in What It's the Warlord?
Yes, please. Tell
Okay.
me, what did you think? Oh my god, I say cringing. What did you think?
Well, okay. So it may not be the same one you're thinking of because to me, the first kiss scene was the one that Tristan was dreaming of because that is the first time that they actually kiss is in his dream. And I was like, this has
Yes.
to be a dream. This has to be a dream. And then it ended up being, man, I don't want it to be a dream. I want it to be real. So I liked it
I
though
mean,
because there's a lot of buildup. I mean, there is a push and pull, and I mean, he's very respectable of her, even though there is arranged marriage. It's very respectable, and I love what he says to her the first night. She's expecting him to do his duty, and he was like, "I don't take unwilling women to bed, so I'll wait until that happens." Um, so yeah, and then you had the one bed trope there because they sleep in the same bed, and it's so funny because she's like, "Don't I get my own room?" He was like, "You're in a small castle. There's not enough rooms to have your own room."
yeah, I mean, she's a princess. I mean, she wanted her own room. Then he's like, no,
Yeah,
you're not a princess anymore.
yeah,
You're my wife now. Yeah, but yeah, I guess the advice that I would give Rachel is the same thing that you said. There has to be push and pull. I mean, it's no fun if it's like just oh, we love each other, or oh, we want to kiss, or we want to like sleep together. Then everything is over. There has to be some kind of push pull. There has to be something of like either a secret or something which is holding you back, or they both are pining for each other because they misunderstand that oh, I like him but he doesn't like me, or she doesn't think about me that way. There has to be something, and then everything explodes finally in one scene. So that's how I would say
I
to make
haven't
it
got there yet.
compelling.
Yeah,
Yeah, because otherwise it's just, like, oh, we like each other and let's kiss. And then you go, okay, what's the fun of that? So I mean that can be fun also, but there has to be something to give it that zing, I guess, which just has to be one person is not sure of their feelings, or even though they both like each other, maybe, that there's a secret, or they don't believe that they're worthy of the love, or something. There has
yeah.
to be some emotional undercurrent to it other than just uh, the physical steaminess of it, is what I think.
There's been some chatter over the dragon question, which dragon canon to choose, and Rachel's like, I don't know in general, I guess. Yeah, there's a lot of different dragons out there. And how does that work with size even? Because like humans are one size and dragons are like a 747. No, depends. I don't know how
Well,
big. How big would you
that's why
make
we
it?
write shifters. I was gonna say that's
Yeah,
why we would write
I just
shifters.
shifted.
Otherwise, you're just riding a dragon. I mean, imagine
I
sitting with
mean,
for
it's like dragon
yeah, no,
or monster romance. It's not what it is. It's dragon shifter.
yeah, but but I'm just still thinking of like I think a human being sitting on top of a 747 is like no, it just doesn't make sense. So they would have to be some kind of proportional.
Yeah. Dream lover
Okay, I'm
says,
gonna
yeah,
stop now.
yeah, that's fine. I mean, we could take that to different, yeah, different height.
Yeah.
Um, Classic Highlander line. Oh, uncertainty is the key. Look, if Ice Planet barbarians could figure it out with the sizes, so can we. Yeah, but I mean, I did read the Ice Planet Barbarian series last year, and they're big, but they're not. They're
Yeah,
like
I was
seven
gonna
feet
say, yeah,
tall.
they're not that they're not
Yeah, they're
that
not
big.
that
That
big.
sounds terrible to say.
I mean, I think the biggest one was close to 8 feet, maybe.
Yeah, but wait,
Um,
8 feet is like still human proportioned, I guess,
yes,
rather
it's
rather than
close.
an actual dragon. But oh, that can be done also. I remember uh which book did it? It's a book of Fire Seed by I think Val someone where the dragon doesn't shift. It's a romance. It's a Stevie
Oh, the
romance
monster romance.
between a dragon hunter and a dragon that doesn't shift.
Oh, I didn't. Well, I
Yep.
guess I should have known that there's probably books out there like that. Margaret says she's not read Ice Planet Barbarians. Personally, I make Kiss and Steam mildly awkward because why not? And my alpha readers ate it up. So what's that? So that's what I'm going to stick with. I don't. I don't find it. I don't know. I mean, at least in Wedded to the Warlord, Warlord. Cannot say that word tonight. Warlord. Um, it's not awkward at all. I mean, you've been waiting for this moment forever, but then when it happens, it just seems so easy. I'm like, this has to be a dream. Sure, but Shannon was described to be, well, I guess I kind of skipped over that part.
Yeah, now when you're saying it, I'm like, oh my god, no, but oh my god.
Okay. Well, we are going to get ready to wrap it up. If you guys have any last minute questions, you can drop them in the chat. But for Sirena, before we wrap up all the chat, can you tell us a little bit about what you're working on next and when it might come out? I think you've already kind of touched on this, but go ahead and plug the work again.
Yes. So, okay. So, I have three books coming out in the Song of the Four Kingdoms. That's going to be the next arc, as such, where we kind of find out what's going to happen with the evil prince and what he's going to do for his dreams of power next, and how it ties in with everyone else who's come before. And the other one, like I said, which is also set in the world of the Four Kingdoms, but is a side story, I would say, is about my dragon shifter, the one which we're talking about, not as big as a 747, proportioned like a human, that's dragon shifter. So it's called To Embrace an Onyx Heart, and it's part of the Bound by Flame series. So it's about nine authors, and I'm one of them. We're all coming together to write a series of novellas about dragon shifters. So they're all fantasy romance and different genres. Like, someone is doing a fairy tale retelling of Little Red Riding Hood.
Oh,
Another person is doing a gas lamp, story. Another person is doing a fantasy of manners. It's going to be Mr. Collins and Charlotte reimagining from like Pride and the Prejudice. So,
mhm.
and I'm just doing like a straight up dragon shifter, tortured dragon shifter who thinks he's a beast and he's not good enough for the woman he loves, that kind of thing. And she's a witch who wants to, she needs power for her own purposes. And they both are working at cross purposes. They think they're working together, but they're actually working at cross purposes. So, what happens when they find out? And there's an attraction in the middle of all this. And then there's an enemy with a battle, like I said. So that's to embrace a non-ex art. It's going to be releasing in May to June of
Okay.
this year. So the whole series. So keep an eye out. It's called Bound by Flame.
Definitely. I'll definitely look up for it. And please, feel free to email me because I definitely want to read that. Definitely the Dragon Shifter. And I like Gas. I just read a couple of Gaslamp fantasy romances. I really like them too.
Yes, they are amazing. And like I said, all the books sound amazing. You really have to check out the series. There's something for everyone. I mean, it's not all steamy romance. Some of it is low steam. So check it out.
Okay, awesome. We did get some more chatter about pickles, laughing about pickles. But we have another question. How do you balance the romance with each character's individual arcs?
Um, Okay, so I'll tell you my answer, and then let's listen to what you have to say, Shannon, because I'd love to
Oh,
hear what you say also. So
okay.
I was gonna say, for me, especially when it comes to writing fantasy romance, I try to make sure that the romance is kind of intrinsic to their arc, as in for in book one, Malika is like basically trying to learn how to trust herself and trust someone else again. So the only time that she can open herself up to romance is when she finally feels that I can trust my judgment again, because she made a terrible mistake with her ex, and then she feels that no decision that I make now is going to be correct. But once she feels that uh, her new husband is not as terrible as he seems, and she realizes that her judgment is correct, that is when her heart opens to him, and a romance would be possible. So that's how I kind of tied them together. And then once she learns that her judgment isn't bad, and then her um, the way she looks at the world isn't wrong, where her confidence kind of took a hit, but she gains the confidence again, and that's when her story arc moves forward, where she says that now I can kind of like try to break free of my ex and all his manipulations and machinations. So that's how the arc moved. For Malika's arc was a little more defined, I guess. Tristan was just happy, happy, and then he ended up happy, happy, happy. So for him, it was more about learning to um, I think just believe in himself, because he trusted Malika from the beginning, and for him there was not much to go on. But for Malika, her arc was really tied into learning to accept the romance. So yeah, that's how I did it. And it's the same in kind of book three and book two, where the romance does tie into their hang-ups and their emotional hang-ups. The romance only goes forward once they work through their personal stuff. That's how I try to marry the two. What about you, Shannon? I'd love to hear what you say.
Oh, yeah. So all of my characters, I realized that's when I wrote my bio when I was like, yep, all my characters are broken. They all come from some trauma from their past.
Hmm.
Um, and so in the romance arc, like it's same for what you said. The arc is part of their character arc, which is intrinsic to the plot. It all ties together. So every plot point, moves the romance arc forward. It moves the plot forward, but it also moves the character's growth forward. At least you as much as you can, because in a romance art a plot, right? You have the point where they say no way and they go away from each other after it looks like they might be coming together, and that can tie into the character also falling back into believing that lie about themselves, because most of my characters have a lie about themselves that they believe. Not all of them
Hmm.
do, but most of them have that lie. I think about my novella. She's kind of a broken character because she has a curse on her and she can't move without her skin
Oh.
breaking to pieces.
Oh
So
no.
yeah. So other than that, she's somewhat well adjusted. Other than she has no one's given her a hug in over 100 years because she's a fae, and
Oh.
so she just wants a hug from her mom, and she can't even do that. So, but yeah. So So everything is intrinsic to that. The plot, the character arc, and the romantic arc. It just all kind of goes together, and they all work to put, um, you know, I keep thinking like the wrong word here. They put blocks, obstacles. There you go. I'm like boulders, rocks. No, obstacles. Obstacles in the way to stop that growth. But then we have to, the getting the HEA, getting the good feels of the book overall, getting the plot all the way through, the fantasy part as well. You have to get through all those blocks. So they just all work together, I think.
Yep, exactly.
Jocelyn says, I sure appreciate this stream. We appreciate you being here. Important distinctions, dragon versus dragon shifter, and urban fantasy versus epic fantasy. Noted. I actually went to a webinar last night. It was put on by Faro February, the group Fantasy Romance. It was done by Ashland Library. I don't remember where it's at. Because they had 3 authors on, H.R. Moore, and Nisha, I can't remember her last name. I only remember H.R. Moore because her book came out today through Faro February for free. But and they were talking about urban fantasy, epic fantasy, romantasy, fantasy romance, romantic fantasy, all these different terms and what they mean to us as writers, what they mean to readers. It was a really interesting discussion. So. Question good. We're going to have to it's this last question. Okay, this is the last question. So key to good, low cringe wedding chapter scene. I would say, okay, hold on. Let me put this up here. I love the wedding in this. It was not over the top. Like it wasn't described in tons of detail. It was described enough that you understood it was a wedding. And because too, it was not the traditional, what you think of like a medieval wedding, right? It had the Indian influences in the wedding. So I love the way the wedding scene was written. Read that one.
Thank you.
And go back to comments here. It's late for Shannon. Yes, it is late for me. I'm usually in bed like 19 minutes ago. Everybody here, they know I go to bed early. Let's play a game of rock boulder obstacle. Second most popular after boulder, parchment, and shears. All right, that wraps up our chat here. So we will bring this to a close. As we end this show, please tell everyone where they can find you and where they can purchase your books.
So all my books are on Amazon. So you can find me on Amazon. Most of my, all of my books are on Kindle Unlimited, so you can pick them up there. You can find me mostly on my Instagram and TikTok. I'm dipping my toes into TikTok. So if you would like to come over there and send me encouragement like, okay, this video doesn't suck quite so bad, or something like that, that would be great as well. So that's it. That's for me.
Yeah. If you like sweet but spicy romances, low angst, and happily ever afters, you will love Wed It to the Warlord. I'm a warlord. I cannot say that word tonight.
That's your boulder for today.
There it is. Go ahead and pick up this book. I've absolutely loved it. I'm almost done with it. I picked it up yesterday, and I was like even reading it as I was doing my hair earlier. So I was like, I want to finish this. I want a real kiss. I don't want a dream kiss. I want to go on. Where's the real kiss? I know it's coming. So
it is coming.
Yes. Well, thank you so much for joining me today, Sirena. This was lots of fun.
It was wonderful to be here. Thank you so much, Shannon. I really enjoyed our chat. Thank you so much.
Thank you, everyone, for joining us in the chat today and playing along with us in the game and asking the author questions. Next on Charm Chats and Happily Ever After Sprints is tomorrow at 2 p.m. Central, 3 p.m. Eastern. I have guest author Ophelia Bell on the show, and that will bring us to a close. Let me find the right button. Yep. Okay, that will be it. All right, guys. See you guys later. Bye.
Bye-bye.